Chapter 61 Bang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even Robin was a little surprised. After all, she had also noticed the situation on Chopper's side just now. I didn't expect that the medicine that made Chopper's strength soar was made by Will. Will, it seems, knows a lot. Robin looked at Will with a different look. So it's medicine, ah ha ha, ha ha. Loki smiled awkwardly. It seems that the two of us are the worst. It's uncomfortable. Yes, it's just medicine. Kamakili also quickly stabilized and said, this made Will a little unhappy. What do you mean? Look down on our Chopper. It's okay if the Navy looks down on you, but you dare to look down on him. Who are you looking down on? That Will also said it on the spot. This is not the end. I have to teach him a lesson. Let this little boy remember it. Chopper is protected. He slapped Kamakili with a slap. He didn't use too much force, just wanted to teach him a lesson. Because he didn't use too much force, this little boy actually reacted and dodged. As soon as he dodged, Loki, who was standing with him, was hit. Will didn't have time to stop. It would have been fine if he didn't have time to stop, but because of the angle, this slap actually hit Loki's back. Snap! The crisp sound seemed to resound throughout the forest. In an instant, Loki's face turned red. Chopper and Robin also glared at him at the same time. Stop! Damn! You guy! What did you do to Loki? At this moment, an extremely angry shout rang out. Weber, who seemed to be about to explode with anger, was not far away. As soon as he entered the forest, he ran towards the altar. He was worried that Will had bullied Raj. I didn't expect it. As soon as he arrived, he saw two people covered in wounds. Among them, Raj was even disheveled. The few pieces of debris on his body could only cover the most critical parts. This scene had already made him conclude that the two people were tortured extremely. Just when he was about to kill Will and rescue the two people, he saw this scene that made his eyes spit fire. This guy actually slapped his childhood sweetheart in the back in front of him. Who wouldn't be angry when seeing this? Who wouldn't be angry when seeing this? That's right, Weber is about to explode with anger now. Will also recognize the identity of the opponent at this time. How did this guy find this place? Suddenly, Will thought of something. His face lit up. This guy seems to have sea stone on him. I'd better ask him for some advice. Otherwise, when I treat Enel, the kid can use electric shock therapy to treat himself. He can't do it with others, but he can do it with himself. After all, the anesthetic brick will wake him up. As long as he is conscious, he can give himself an electric shock. If he can cure himself with an electric shock, where can I get the reward? At this time, Will also noticed the anger on Weber's face. When he was confused, he suddenly remembered that he seemed to have slapped his wife's but just now. Bad. It's broken. I can't seem to clear myself. Yes. I didn't. It was just an intention. Will raised his palm and shook it innocently. He waved his hand to show that he really didn't mean it. This scene fell into Weber's eyes, but it was a different scene. Good fellow, you bastard, you slapped the old woman's ass, and then you raised that hand to show off to the old woman. It was as if you were saying, your is really good, good. I've seen arrogant people, but I've never seen someone as arrogant as you. This is simply. He dunked a green hat on his head. After dunking, he said, take it, no thanks. Weber reverted to his ancestor on the spot and turned into old Jian Wei. Completely crazy. The clouds under his feet gushed out and rushed towards Wer. Seeing that Wer hadn't moved yet, Loki attacked first. She stood straight in front of Wer, with both hands open. She protected Wer as if she was protecting her mistress. Wer's strength, she had just seen it. With one kick, Gadaz died on the spot. This person really can't be provoked casually. If Weber gets angry, things will not end well. Although she was also very ashamed of Will spanking her buttocks, her face was still flushed, but she couldn't let Weber go to die. This scene fell into Weber's eyes, and it made him feel cold instantly. The girl he liked was beaten by other boys in front of him. Now he stood in front of that boy and stopped him. The meaning of this is self-evident. How is he inferior to him? Is it because he is taller than him? Taller than him. He is just taller than him. Even the completely crazy Weber was like being poured with a basin of cold water from head to toe at this time. and he was out of control. His face was extremely ugly. After calming down, this guy became even angrier. Facts have proved that anger and calmness have nothing to do with each other. Rachi was about to explain when Weber drifted past her. His fist went straight to Will. Seeing that Weber could not be stopped, Rachi could only hope that Will would be gentle. Hit him gently. He didn't mean it. Rachi also hurriedly shouted to Will at this time, but it sounded like he was also talking to Weber. Let me be gentle. Not mean it. Okay, I really don't know what kind of magic this kid has. He can be so fascinated by Rachi in such a short time. This is really infuriating. I must beat his brains out. Seeing this, Will really couldn't explain this matter. Then there is no need to say more nonsense. The effect of knocking him down is the same. At this time, Weber had come to Will, and pointed his palm at Will. Loki and Kamakili immediately recognized the shell in his hand. Repulsor shell. Weber, are you crazy? The two shouted at the same time. Repulsor shell and impact shell are actually the same, it's just that this thing has recoil, the user will still suffer considerable damage. The power is naturally far greater than the impact shell. If this hits Will, it will definitely be a lose-lose result. Will was also a little angry at this time. His observation color had sensed the dangerous breath from the shell in this guy's hand. Even if he didn't take any measures, he would be seriously injured by this blow. This guy is really going to get ahead of himself. Too much. Weber, who was already overwhelmed by anger, resolutely started it. Bang! An incredibly strong impact immediately blasted out from the repelling shell in Weber's hand. The irresistible recoil also immediately sent Weber flying backwards. This. Weber is too impulsive. Kamakili shouted helplessly. A few people also looked nervously in Will's direction. Will was still standing there. He did not move at all. On his chest, there was a thick black substance. It was a strong armed color that consumed a lot of physical strength to form. At this time, Will's face was not very good. This guy, he was a little too much. Chapter 62. Good. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, Will's figure disappeared from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Weber. Since you don't want to reason, then I won't reason. Weber, who was injured by the repulsor shell, looked at the figure that suddenly appeared in front of him, and there was a trace of astonishment in his eyes. This speed. So fast. At this time, Will did not hesitate, raised his foot and stepped on Weber with a triple damage heavy blow. The target was exactly his not-so-good brain. Weber wanted to dodge. This was not something he could dodge at all. This guy was too fast. Will did not have the leg cramp problem that Huang Erjia had. This kick did not stop at all, and stepped directly on Weber's head. The powerful force made Weber's eyes widen immediately. He realized that something was wrong. It was too late. The huge impact spread across the earth in an instant, and a huge deep pit immediately formed on the ground. Weber was unconscious on the spot. His stubbornness was not enough to withstand Will's attack. Will looked at the unconscious stubborn monster and wiped his shoes with disgust. Then he picked up his piece of sea stone, threw it into his medical box, and this sudden scene scared everyone. Looking at the huge pit, several people took a breath of cold air. What kind of power is this? This blow is obviously much stronger than the one he just hit on Gadaz. Wasn't that his limit just now? Loki was really a little scared by the strength that were kept showing off. Is this guy really just a little pirate from the blue sea? How come he doesn't look like one at all? Loki hurried to check Weber's injuries, but she was not too worried. After all, Weber was the strongest warrior on their side. Although he couldn't be Weir's opponent, he shouldn't be unable to withstand a single blow. She hurried over. Weber was lying in the big pit. His face, which was originally half tattooed, was successfully matched at this time. Now the whole face is tattooed. Half is a shoe print, very symmetrical. Weber has already lost consciousness and is unconscious in this big pit. This scared Loki. Weber was actually knocked unconscious by one blow. This isn't Weir's kick just as simple as it looks. This is too outrageous. Even Weber couldn't handle it. Will was really angry just now. Of course he didn't hit him lightly. He was armed with armament hockey when he kicked him just now. With the triple damage, he will be unconscious for at least a day. This guy is really annoying. He just wanted to borrow some sea stone, but now he wants to snatch it from me. With this small piece of sea stone, there will be no problem with the treatment in the future, this annoying guy has to be brought with him, otherwise the tour guide will definitely give up, healing and threats don't work. Robin and Joe were also a little stunned at this time. Will's appearance just now was really scary. Joe and Robin saw him for the first time. Will is very friendly, but he is really fierce when he gets angry. It seems that I can't make him angry in the future. If he gets angry and beats you up and then heals you, there's really no solution. The key is that you can't beat him, which is annoying. Will's strength has clearly shown this, there's no doubt at all. Hey! Can you stop watching? Get that guy out and leave quickly. We're in a hurry. That Will looked at Kamakili, who was still standing there stupidly, and shouted impatiently. Hearing this, he recovered from the shock of Will's explosive strength. He hurried over to help. It seemed outrageous to them that Will solved Weber with one blow. His strength seemed to be able to challenge that Enel. Maybe he really could solve that guy. Both of them realized this, and they also saw hope in each other's eyes. Next, the two people who led the way also worked very hard. If they could run, they would not walk. If they could fly, they would not run. The speed of travel increased immediately. They were also afraid that Will would change his mind, so they had to take him there quickly. Will was naturally happy about this because he was afraid that Enel would run away. He couldn't wait for these two people to hurry up, but in fact, if he only wanted Will now, he might not be able to beat Enel. If that guy's electric shock was resisted with armed color, his physical strength would definitely be consumed very quickly. If he didn't resist, he would be electrocuted and burnt on the outside and tender on the inside. Although that guy was also fragile, if he didn't kill him in 1 second, wouldn't he be passive? Of course, he couldn't tolerate it in this situation. Will had already thought of a foolproof response strategy. He used his plasticity ability and had already prepared a set of armor in the medical box. In order to deal with Enel, a special fully insulated protective rubber armor was made. It guarantees that no electricity can enter him. It directly destroyed his strongest attack. The shape is also extraordinary, very cool, but there are also disadvantages. It is not that strong. It won't be a big deal if you use your fists and feet, but once you are poked by Enel, it's over. As long as there is a little gap, that guy will definitely not miss any opportunity. Guaranteed that 1 billion volts will be poured in directly. Give yourself a crispy outside and tender inside meal. So this is just a layer of insurance. The real killer move is still behind. At this time, Will also opened his own system mall, looked at the supreme throne in the mall. There is a weapon there, which is the biggest obstacle to the continuation of the human race. It is said to kill billions of people every year. The strongest killer weapon. Good. Price, 12,800. Function, it will never break. Note, please choose the code when placing an order. We have all the codes. Evaluation, indestructible. That's right. It's it. Our good friend Yuntao. Although his name is good, but the function is not good at all. As the saying goes, the system product must be the best. This thing certainly won't disappoint Will. It won't disappoint, and the corresponding price won't be cheap. Will values it, naturally, because of the rubber material, plus the indestructible property, plus the size can be chosen by yourself. The moment Will saw this thing, he already had a perfect plan in his mind. I hope Enel can bear it next. I must give him a full body wrap, just tailor one for Enel, and give him a set when the time comes. Pinch, pinch, pinch. He will be at the mercy of others. As long as you pinch his mouth and let him not come out, you win. This difficult battle was over on the spot. It can't be electrocuted, and it can't be broken. You say he can do anything except being beaten up by Will outside. Will not only wants to get a set of armor for himself. He also wants to get a set for Enel. I have to say, this system will always give you some unexpected shocks, exclusive to the giants. We didn't dare to imagine what Enel would feel at that time. After exchanging it, he also hurriedly put it in his medical box, didn't dare to look at it again. Chapter 63 Enelu, what positions do you like? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After this killer move, no matter how strong Enel is, he has to kneel down. Will was thinking about Enel, while Enel was paying attention to Will, or, he has been paying attention to Will, because he felt vaguely that Will was not simple, but after watching for so long, he saw it. This guy does have some strength, but it is limited to some strength. If he wants to compare with himself, he is really far behind. He is just strong in brute force, and this guy is not as good as himself in other aspects, whether it is speed or ability. What's more, he has an invincible body that is immune to physical attacks. No matter how strong this guy is, he still has to kneel down in front of God. However, if he wants to be a servant of God, he is fully qualified. I hope he can be more sensible. Being a servant of God is his only way out. Thinking of this, Enelu couldn't help but smile, as if everything was under his control. This is the confidence that the strongest natural devil fruit brings him. He is invincible. But suddenly, his smile disappeared in an instant, replaced by a very speechless face. The bugs actually came here to kill. Forget it. If that's the case, then let's move around. They should really feel honored to be killed by God. After Enelu finished speaking, the whole person turned into a flash of lightning and disappeared on the spot. The god's shrine, Nami and others arrived here at this time. The bugs in Enelu's mouth are naturally them, that's right, except for Will. Enelu never looked at other people. In his opinion, these people are just ants. Nami and the others had to come here to defeat Enelu in order to rescue the captured Will and others. Will and the others are still missing, which is not good news. As for why they came faster than Will, it was naturally because there were more people. In the original work, the rescue team was only 3 people. Now with Zoro and Nami, the advancement speed is naturally greatly improved. The only flaw is that Luffy is missing. That guy just disappeared suddenly. He was just following behind, but he disappeared in the blink of an eye. It's like a magic trick. This is really speechless. At this time, Luffy, who was in the belly of a big snake, looked at the dark environment around him, and there was a little bit of confusion. Hey! Where is this? Why did it suddenly get dark? Did I fall into a cave? Luffy began to look for the exit in this way. Nami and them were accompanied by an old man riding a pink Pegasus. This guy is the previous god of Sky Island. He was replaced after Enel came. His purpose of coming here is naturally to kill the brutal Enel and give the people of Sky Island a clear world. By the way, are Will and the others really up there? Did we make a mistake? Zoro asked with some doubts at this time, because this vine can't be reached by the ship. Green algae head, why do you care so much? Nami-san said it's here. Just do your job. After Sanji finished speaking, Zoro got angry on the spot. When everyone was about to start the battle, they suddenly found that a figure suddenly appeared not far in front. This guy who suddenly appeared scared everyone. What speed is this? They didn't even see how this guy appeared. Enel. At this time, said the name of the man in front in a low voice. Everyone was shocked when they heard it. Is this guy the god? The situation is not good. From what happened just now, it can be seen that this guy seems very strong. At least, he is very fast. It looks very difficult. Zoro and Sanji can't help but tense up, be ready to deal with the next change at any time. At this time, the dead fish-eyed Enel, who was sitting on a floating sphere, finally spoke. You scumbags, are you going to come together or one by one? At this time, he looked at everyone with disdain. He didn't even raise his eyelids while speaking. He didn't take the few people seriously at all. At this time, moved first. He rushed forward at a very fast speed, and the night spear in his body stabbed out with all his strength, but Enel didn't want to dodge at all. He even yawned. Seeing this, Zoro and the others felt that the situation was stable. They had seen the strength of this old man just now, and it could be said that he was very strong. This guy didn't dodge. This attack would definitely hit him hard. At this moment, the spear pierced Enel's chest. Several people immediately looked happy. But Forel, the person involved, had a drastic change of expression. He hurriedly wanted to withdraw. Just before the spear was about to be withdrawn, something strange happened. Extremely powerful lightning burst out instantly. Along with the spear in his hand, it struck his body. The powerful electric current continued to wash over his body. The extremely strong numbness almost made him lose his resistance. Forel's entire body turned into a dazzling ball of light. The light was even a little dazzling. After 5 full seconds, the light finally went out. Forel fell heavily to the ground. At this time, he was almost charred on the outside and tender on the inside. Wisps of white smoke kept rising. The body was still flashing with electric arcs from time to time. This sudden scene made Nami and others dumbfounded. What's going on? Why did it suddenly smoke? This guy seems a little unusual. This is really tricky. Hey! There's no chance that Will is coming this way. Zoro spoke quickly and proposed this idea, because this guy is obviously the natural type that Ace mentioned. They are not domineering, they are not right at all. The only one who knows how to wear armor is not here. Now, except for Weir's arrival, it seems that this guy is really invincible. Now we can only pretend that he is coming. Try to delay it for a while. We must not let Nami-san get hurt. After Sanji finished speaking, he lit a cigarette. Sauron also put on his turban. Ha! Will? Is that the weird guy? Ha ha ha. Even if he comes, what will happen? I am a god. He can still kill gods. After Enelu finished speaking, he disappeared in an instant. He didn't wait for these people to attack. He wants to teach these bugs who dare to underestimate him a lesson. Before Zoro and the others could react at all, Enel had already arrived in front of them, pointing towards Zoro and Sanji with both hands forward. 10 million volts. Lightning strike. In an instant, an electric current spreads throughout the person's body. They became dazzling in an instant. The gap in strength between the two sides is really too big, even for the two of them. They can only end up being killed instantly. Bang, bang. 2 falls to the ground were heard. This gave Nami and Usopp a hard slap in the guts. Enelu curled his lips disdainfully, glanced at the 3 people lying on the ground and stopped paying attention. He turned to look at Nami and Usopp hugging each other. At this time, they were somewhat stunned. Sanji and Zoro fell down in an instant. How to fight this? Isn't it finished for both of us? Is Will really heading this way? This question is really crucial. You two, how do you want to fall to the ground? I think onions grown upside down are good. Do you want to try them? Enelu spoke at this time, and both of them trembled when they heard this. It's over, it seems dead. Are you going to be electrocuted? Just when people are almost desperate, suddenly, a voice came from behind them. I think it's necessary for you to demonstrate first. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target _type, mix. Chapter 64 Brother. Is it true? You are listening at novelfull.audio. This voice, with these words, made Enel frown. The arrogant and disregarding meaning in the words was particularly obvious. Similarly, the voice seemed to have some magic. Nami and Usopp felt inexplicably relieved the moment they heard it. The desperate expressions on their faces disappeared instantly. Instead, they were replaced by the joy of surviving a disaster. They both turned their heads excitedly and looked behind them. But what came into view was not the familiar Will, it was a strange figure in a black suit. This confused the two. Who are you? Nami and Usopp were shocked on the spot. The voice just now was obviously Will. How come the guy in strange clothes appeared now? Or is this guy imitating Will's voice? But this voice is too similar. How many Wills must he eat to be so similar? As for Will wearing this thing, they really hadn't thought about it. Although this outfit is quite handsome, Will probably doesn't have the habit of being a masked superhero, right? Suddenly Usopp thought of something. If this guy wasn't Will, wouldn't he still be dead? Similarly, Nami thought so. It's over. Nami. We're dead. Ah. I still have a lot of money to spend. I don't want to die yet. The weak and helpless duo hugged each other and cried bitterly on the spot. Hope finally appeared, but now despair again. Hey. Nami, Usopp. Why are you crying? At this time, Chopper's voice also came over. Hearing this, the two immediately looked at it. There were several figures standing there. Their eyes instantly reappeared with brilliance. The two hurriedly ran towards Chopper and Robin. While running, they shouted, Chopper. Robin. Where's Will? Let him out. Seeing Chopper, they also knew that Will must be not far away. These two guys are inseparable and even sleep together. Now that Chopper is here, Will must be not far away. Their question confused Chopper. Looking for my big brother? My big brother has been standing here for a long time. Which big brother are you looking for? When did I have so many big brothers? Isn't my big brother here? Chopper said in confusion. Robin covered her mouth and chuckled. With Will here, she and Chopper are not really worried, the mood is also more relaxed. Nami and Usopp looked at the strange guy standing there looking at Enel with astonishment. Is this Will? Does your big brother like to play this recently? Usopp said hesitantly. Is this his new play? Nami also asked with a strange look on her face. Enel on the opposite side is not as slow as Nami and the others. He recognized Will a long time ago, although he was very angry about what Will just said. He did not rush to do it, he wanted to recruit a wave of Will first. At this time, he looked at the strange Will in front of him and finally spoke. Little boy, I know you have some strength. You are indeed stronger than these guys lying on the ground. But, I am not an existence that you can touch. I am the High God. I am the incarnation of thunder and lightning, the real thunder god. Mortals can't touch me. If you want to live, I'll give you a chance now. Be my servant. Be my servant. Enel, who looked superior and gave alms, said this, and Will couldn't listen anymore. He interrupted his long speech directly. Your hometown is Dunhuang. There are so many murals. Will was wearing a mask, so the speechless expression on his face was not revealed. He also had his own considerations at this time. If he attacked directly, it would be easy to suffer a loss in speed. The speed of this guy's thunder and lightning is not a joke. At least if he wanted to run, he would definitely not be able to catch up. It would be best to make him attack first, so that with his observation haki, he could easily catch his flaws. So Will was not in a hurry to attack, he was going to provoke him first. This was the only thing that had broken Enel's defense. A hint of anger also appeared on his face, but he still didn't do it. From this point of view, he really wanted to recruit Will. Otherwise, with his personality, Will would have illuminated the world long ago. Okay, it seems that you don't know the gap between us. In this case, I will let you face the reality. Come on, attack me. After saying this with a confident look, Enel put his hands behind his back. I have to say that Enel's words, let alone other things, are really awesome. As soon as he said this, everyone else looked solemn, because this guy seems to be really strong. In terms of momentum, he has crushed all of them. Those who knew Enel as well, such as Lachi, also remembered the fear of being dominated by him. Is Weir really his opponent? Not only her, but everyone with their eyes open thought so. Enel's sense of oppression was really strong. He easily killed two of the strongest fighters in his own group. He was still calm in front of Will. No one knew how strong he was. Everyone was unsure. They didn't know if Will could beat him. But Will at this moment, he stood straight, not looking flustered at all, but under the mask, Will's mouth was almost crooked with laughter. Brother. Really? I can attack casually. Are you really so polite? Will really loves Enel's character, arrogant, confident, and conceited. Okay. Great. Since you are so polite, I won't be polite to you either. I promise not to let you down. Really? I can attack casually. Will suppressed his body that was about to tremble with laughter. He tried to say something that sounded normal. That's right. Okay. Since you said so. I won't be vague. If you can withstand 3 of my moves, I'll be your servant. With just these 2 words, Will finally finished. Enelu on the opposite side heard it. He laughed on the spot. There is such a good thing. 3 moves. What if I let you take 300 moves? At this time, in his opinion, the servant of God has been confirmed. This guy is quite sensible. Chopper and others couldn't help but get nervous. This big brother is playing such a big game. All bets are on it. If you lose, it's all over. Let's start. Enelu urged impatiently. At this time, both of them thought in their hearts, surprisingly consistent. Both. There is such a good thing. But who is considered a good thing? You won't know until you try it. Chapter 65. Something is wrong. Guang quickly retreats. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thinking of this, Will's leg, which had already been charged, was ready to move. He did not choose to rush directly, but walked over slowly, in front of Enel, who looked contemptuous. Will did not hesitate. He used all his strength directly, he kicked Enel's chest fiercely. Will did not hold back at all in this kick, the leg strengthening and triple damage blessing made this kick even produce a sonic boom, but Enel, standing in front of Will, still looked calm and relaxed. Such an attack could kill him. His mind network did not sense any danger from this attack, although the power of this kick was indeed very scary. Even he might not be able to do it with his physical strength alone, but it was useless to hit him, no matter how powerful it was just a waste. But he looked at Will and became more satisfied. This is really a perfect servant of God. Strong strength, no mistake. But just when Will was about to touch Enel, something happened. An extremely deep black layer instantly attached to his legs. That was the armament hockey that was about to break through the high level. And it was performed with full force. First move. Enel's face changed instantly. His heart net was warning like crazy, and he finally felt the extremely dangerous breath from Will's attack. Wait. This is right. Enelu, who noticed the right move, shouted out immediately. He hurriedly tried to turn into lightning to avoid the attack, but Will carefully chose the timing. How could he avoid it? Too close. Even if it was him, he might not be able to dodge it. This kick hit Enelu's chest. The expression on his face began to become more and more ferocious. The eyes bulged out and his mouth opened wide. The chest was gradually collapsing. The dent was getting deeper and deeper. Until the chest sank about 1/3. With a bang, Enelu finally flew out. This speed is even close to Enel's own maximum speed. The impact caused by the contact between the two even instantly shattered the floating clouds around. Will rushed towards Enel without hesitation. He must cause enough damage to him before he can recover. Once this guy reacts, it will take a lot of effort to fight him. At this time, Enel was lying under the vine, and the vine was hit by him and a gap was created. It looked a little shaky. At this time, Enel felt a sharp pain in his chest, causing his whole body to spasm and twitch. His face was full of pain. Now every breath he took, he felt a sharp pain in his lungs. The ribs were broken, and several of them were stuck in the lungs. After spitting out another mouthful of blood, he was about to get up. A figure had already followed him like a shadow. Second move, Will said, and the flip-flops had already come to Enelu's face. At this time, Enelu found that he was right. This guy seemed to be playing the pig to eat the tiger. I seem to be tricked. The situation is right. Retreat quickly. Enelu immediately prepared to open the distance first, and then release the electric kite Will from a long distance. He must be serious. Although he knew why he could beat him, as long as he was serious. He might still be his opponent. Give him a blow first. Think about it. A powerful lightning bolt instantly hit Will, who was close at hand. 200 million volts. Thunder Dragon. At such a close distance, the powerful Thunder Dragon instantly enveloped Will. There was no time to dodge. Enel's face already showed an expression of winning. This attack would definitely be easy to electrocute him. He could definitely withstand it. This is his powerful skill. This kid is dead. But Will didn't feel anything. He felt the terrifying current flowing outside the armor, and was glad that he put it on early. Even his movements were not affected. What? Seeing that Will was not affected at all, Enel was shocked again. What was going on? But seeing the slippers getting closer and closer, he could only choose to retreat first. But at this moment, he felt another sharp pain in his chest. It was the heart. The heart twitched violently. Will had just stepped on the heart, and it was indeed hitting the heart. He was a doctor, and he knew best where to hit. This scene was not beyond his expectations, but this time, Enel lost the opportunity to dodge again. He was kicked hard on the head again. He flew out in a circle again. This series of attacks made the people behind him stunned. Even the ignorant guys like Loki and Kamakili were shocked. We're he. So strong. He could actually beat Enel. Is it because of that black thing? In front of him, Enel actually seemed to have no power to fight back. Is this his true strength? It was just a small fight before. If he had kicked Weber just now, it seems very likely that he would be kicked to pieces on the spot. Namiho and the others were not in a good state at this time. They were all watching with their eyes wide open, their eyes were almost filled with surprise. Just now, Zoro and the others didn't even take a single move from this guy. But Will was able to suppress him. Yes, he was pressing him. That guy seemed to be still strong, he didn't even have a chance to release that terrifying lightning. Although it was caused by his own actions, anyone could do this. It's Will. This guy is so strong and abnormal. Will he really be as he said? 3 moves can solve him. At this time, Enel was completely confused. What's going on? Why does his lightning work on him? Is it because he didn't wear clothes before? Damn! At this rate, he seems to be really killed by a combo. The kick just now gave him a concussion, he even had double vision for a moment. At this time, there was a very obvious slipper mark on his forehead. The white turban flew away, the drifting blonde hair looked a little messy at this time. Will is almost a professional stamper now. One kick at a time, as Enel thought about it, he used lightning to shock his heart crazily, his heart was already damaged. If he didn't care, it would always affect his actions. Will came again at this time, but Enel's electric shock was already completed, and the speed was so fast, his heart was full of vitality again, beating strongly and powerfully. Enel now just wanted to get away from Will as soon as possible. If he did, he would die directly. That little foot kicked him and it hurt, this guy must have a weakness. Since it's because of the clothes, I just need to break the clothes in a while. He may win against me. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 66 I am Zio. You are listening at novelfull.audio. His idea was right, but now, Will had come again. Will seemed to have predicted all his escape routes, he had no chance to evacuate, Will's attack was too perfect, he couldn't get away at all. He was so close and couldn't dodge. Helplessly, Enel had to choose lightning. He instantly turned into the appearance of Thor. The golden weapon in his hand was emitting a creepy heat, the high temperature had spread throughout the weapon. Enel didn't choose to retreat because there was no chance to retreat. He had no choice but to fight with Will. Thor's spear, piercing, Enel shouted. After a moment of trance, his figure rushed towards Will. The weapon in his hand exuded a creepy power. This attack would be fatal if it hit any part of Will, because the high temperature of the weapon would instantly create a gap in Will's suit. There is more than just high temperature on that weapon, it is just a conductor. Enel can use it to instantly conduct lightning into Will's body. As long as Will's suit is destroyed, Enel will definitely release lightning with all his strength. At that time, no matter how strong Will is, he can't stop it. He doesn't have Luffy's power to be immune to lightning, but Will be stabbed. Of course not. All this is within his expectations. At this time, Enel attacked this side. Will did not hesitate at all and directly retracted the attack just now. And immediately opened the medical box on his waist. Took out something that looked very strange to Enel. Will just held the thing in front of his chest. It seemed that he wanted to use this thing to block Enel's attack. What Will took out was a round thing. What does this guy want to do? Enel couldn't help thinking. What does he mean? Is he trying to use this thing to block my attack? What a joke. This thing looks so thin. How could it want to block my super high temperature burst gun? How stupid. Ignorant mortal. Thinking of this, he stabbed forward even harder, and his speed became even faster. He was ready to pierce this thing and Will together. Enel arrived in a flash with his weapon in hand. He stabbed hard on that 1 millimeter. But at the moment of contact, he didn't pierce it. Instead, because of the powerful force, the back of the film bulged violently, but even so, this thing was still not broken. This scene shocked Enel. What's going on? What on earth is this thing? It can actually withstand the damage of being pierced by itself. Just when Enel was surprised, Will moved again. At this time, Enel was still maintaining a forward posture. His body continued to stab forward. The strength of the super thin is constantly being tested. In this situation, he can't retreat. This is the state that Will wants. This state of rushing forward and unable to retreat. Will, who was holding both sides, had already predicted the landing point of this shot with his observation color. Here it comes. Will shouted, holding both sides with both hands, and went straight to Enel's head. This guy likes to call himself a god. If he is treated like this, his mentality will explode on the spot. The negative points are definitely framed. Seeing this thing coming towards his head, Enel was stunned on the spot. What does this mean? What is this for? Wait. I can't seem to hide. As the super thin unfolded, Enel recognized what that thing was. Isn't this just? His eyes suddenly widened, and the expression on his face was extremely horrified. But it wasn't over yet. When he saw what was stuck on it, he was completely dumbfounded. This. My Zio. Brother. This is no joke. That's right, the medical kit enchanted this thing. As for how it was enchanted, it's hard to say. Enelu instantly burst out with a strong body control force. He directly released the weapon in his hand that was almost loaded, and twisted his body forcefully to avoid this thing. But will this work? All his actions were exposed by Will's observation color. Want to hide? Where are you going to hide? Seeing that Will had predicted his actions in advance. Seeing that there was no place to hide. Enelu was really a little collapsed at this time. Despair quickly spread throughout his body. His face was full of fear. I'm done. I'm done. I'm a god. How dare you, you brat! Enelu shouted in desperation. There are so many murals. Vil doesn't care about that, he just started. Enel was immediately put in, and after Enel came into contact with the enchanted items, he was stunned at first, and then he picked up the weapon beside him and started to attack randomly like crazy. Lightning was released as if it was free. The whole interior was instantly dazzling, but soon, Enel discovered in despair that no matter whether it was high temperature, direct piercing, or even lightning, none of them could break this thing. This situation was already bad, but what was worse was that the enchantment would not be evaporated by lightning. At this time, he was about to be killed by the enchantment. He was a high god. When had he ever suffered such grievances? In just a few seconds, he was about to collapse. Damn it! Damn mortals! How dare you treat gods like this? You, Enel shouted and vomited, but Will didn't care about you. His mouth was about to be crooked with laughter now. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained 10,000 negative points. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained 4,000 negative points. Ding, Will, who was holding the only exit tightly with one hand, was extremely surprised when he heard the voice of the system. Seize. 10,000. Wow, this hasn't been cured yet, and it's already exploded. Is this the power of Thor? Love it. I don't know what's going on inside, this guy actually vomited like this. It shouldn't be very beautiful. Looking at the expression on Enel's face that looked like he had eaten a bunch of shit, Will was a little bit reluctant. Let's fight him later, he's too pitiful. Will won't say that he wants to wait until the negative points are all exploded before fighting. Chapter 67 Fear. You are listening at novelfull.audio. ***** lubricant. Will waited for a long time, and the system prompt sound gradually subsided. He wanted to attack Enelus, but turned around and saw that the guy was already dead. He seemed to have fainted, and fainted peacefully, while initially judged that this should have triggered the body's protection mechanism. If this continued, Enelus would really be sick to death. So the body forced the shutdown to save his life, unplugged the power directly. This is also good, so he doesn't have to do it himself. Start treatment directly, very good, but he didn't rush, so he hit him with a brick first, give him anesthesia and let him lie down, must show the two brothers who were anesthetized over there first. As for Enelus's treatment method, while is going to open his chest with an electric saw in a while, let's try his new electric saw to see if it works well. Fear. Can stimulate the fear deep inside the patient. Price, 11,000. Comment, whenever the noise sounds, fear will follow. Seeing that the noise had calmed down, several people on the side also hurried over, wanted to see what was going on here, but just halfway through, he saw Will holding a brick and hammering at the unconscious Enelu. Bang! The noise was loud. Several people were also shocked, but it wasn't over yet. Will actually raised the brick again and hammered several times in a row. The sound of bang bang bang, coupled with Will's appearance of trying his best, the eyes of several people looking at Will were also full of fear. This person was dizzy. Why was Will still hammering? But Will was sure after a few hammerings, there was no effect if it was only 1 millimeter away. He had to get it out first. Seeing the big bump slowly rising on Enel's head, Will was a little embarrassed. Sorry, just go away, that Will said as he opened the exit, pulled Enel out. He had already confirmed it just a millimeter away. This guy was really dizzy, his heartbeat was almost stopped. Will wiped the thing that accidentally rubbed against him with disdain, then he hit Enel's head with a brick again. There was another bang. This time it finally worked. Enel regained consciousness on the spot. He regained consciousness and felt the surrounding environment. Although he was still a little confused, he still reacted immediately. The electric arc flashed in his body and wandered around his body. Finally, it came to the position of the heart, trying to get himself out of this state of being unable to move by electric shock, but just when the current came to the heart and was about to shock, that electric arc suddenly disappeared. What happened? Outside, Will stuffed the sea stone into Enel's nostrils, feeling the lightning that had just risen and gradually subsided around him. Will nodded with satisfaction, originally wanted to put it in his mouth, but this guy was too strong anyway. The effect is the same, it doesn't matter where you put it, but this is hard for Enel who is lying down. The disappearance of the current just now also made Enel's heart sink to the bottom of the valley. At this time, although he still maintained the arrogance of God, he felt that Will was still not his opponent, and he only won himself by taking advantage. But now it's useless to say anything, his current state is very bad. Enel also realized this. He was also a little panicked, he didn't think anything else. Even if this guy tortured him, it didn't matter, he had experienced all the sufferings in the world, but he was afraid that Will would do something strange to him. After all, anyone who uses that kind of thing must be abnormal. If that's the case, then he really just wants to die quickly. After doing all this, Will also stood up, looking at the people with strange faces over there. He was also a little confused. Why did that look like a pervert? What happened? Although a little puzzled, Will still shouted at Chopper. Chopper, wash the stuff on this guy. I'll go see Zoro and Sanji first. After Will said that, he took out a large bucket of water and poured it, then he walked towards Zoro. Chopper also hurried over after hearing this and acted according to Will's instructions. Robin also came to help pour water. Chopper looked at the strange things on Enelu's body at this time, and some enlightenment in his eyes. So this thing is a... Karachi and the others looked at Will with even more surprise. They knew what that thing was. But Will actually called it a... Could he use it as a... This is too scary. Seeing Will walking towards Zoro, Nami and the others remembered that the two were still seriously injured. Nami and Usopp rushed over. They looked at Will who was diagnosing with a nervous look. Just now, Zoro and Sanji became like this to protect them. They felt guilty at this time, because if nothing unexpected happened, they would be in trouble. Sanji is more serious, Zoro is okay. But none of them are fatal. Let's take them back for treatment later. Veer smiled brightly, and after he finished speaking, Nami and Usopp suddenly shuddered. It's over, the two of them are really over. Even the two unconscious people miraculously trembled at this time. It seemed like he was protesting something, it seemed like he wanted to express something. Is it okay to express yourself? It doesn't matter, will make them fine. Need, squeeze. It's done, brother. Chopper's voice came from behind. Veer responded. Soon he came to Enelu. Enelu felt that Weiwei was approaching, and his heart suddenly sank again. Chopper just rinsed him off, and this guy was almost moved. The weird feeling in his body really made him want to die. he also thinks Chopper is a pretty good deer, but within 2 seconds of being happy, Will came again. This also made him feel nervous. This guy did this to himself, what do you want to do? Before he understood this, Enelu's heart was always in doubt. The only one who knows what Will is going to do at this time is Chopper. The master said that in his eyes, only patients have no enemies. Brother, do you want to help him treat him? He is seriously injured. Chopper also asked at this time. Although he guessed that it was like this, it was better to ask, but these words sounded a bit unbelievable to Enelu. Help me with treatment. How is this possible? I don't know whether he's seriously injured or not. Get out of the way, I'm going to treat him. What? Do you really want to save me? Enelu really doesn't understand now. Do you want to save yourself after beating yourself like this? What are you planning on doing? Although he didn't understand it, he was still a little happy in his heart. He can still clearly feel the pain coming from everywhere in his body, especially the lungs. The excruciating pain with every breath tested his will. This guy is willing to help him treat himself, probably because he knows that he has offended the god of thunder, so he wants to make amends. Humph, seeing as how sincere he is. Buzz buzz. The buzzing sound of a chainsaw interrupted Enelu's thoughts. No one noticed that while he was in a coma, cold sweat began to break out on his forehead and back. Chapter 68 The Brave Captain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Enelu looked at Veer holding a chainsaw with a collapsed face, collapse of consciousness. What does this guy want to do? That chainsaw looks older than me. He should want to cut down some trees. Even if you don't have to cut down the tree. You can't cure it. It's okay, he said he wanted to treat me, so the chainsaw must have nothing to do with me. We're holding a chainsaw, was looking for a place to cut. This guy suffered internal injuries. There are almost no skin injuries. He knew it himself. If he was injured internally, he actually had a bold idea, very new kind. It is said that is unprecedented. Arrangements will be made for this boy in a moment. Give it a try and see how it works. Jiaopai welding machine. Function, welding. Price, 20,000. Evaluation. This is a welding machine that can be started in any environment. The temperature when working will be very high, and the high temperature will be unbearable for anyone. Huh? Why? Wilhelm took a marker and drew the opening route on Alnai Road. This process also made Enelu's heart skip a beat. It wasn't until he saw we're holding up the electric saw and cutting it down hard at the designated spot that Enelu finally woke up. You really came for me. Intense pain instantly spread throughout Enelu's body. Fear also surrounded him in an instant. As for why fear? I wonder who can remain calm when watching their chest being cut with blood and flesh flying everywhere. Guan Yu has to kneel down when he comes. The situation at the scene at this time really looked like sawing a tree. However, the sawdust that flew up as the chain rotated was replaced by bright red blood stains. The scene immediately became violent. Whoever sees this scene is not confused. Loki, who was already standing far away, was still covered in blood, looking at this horrific scene. Don't say Enelu. She, the bystander, was so scared that she almost peed. Are you sure about this treatment? You should be the doctor and saw, right? Use a chainsaw to disembowel your body. Go a little too far. At this time, Loki left the area directly in front of Vil as if he was running away, turning around to look at the other people on the side. I want to find some comfort from their faces, except for her and Kamakili. Everyone in the audience was relatively calm. Chopper's face is normal, was the first to follow Veer, when S1 or 2 meter diameter injection was inserted into S, but S psychological quality had been trained to an extremely strong level. Of course, it is limited to the psychological quality when watching. Nami, Usopp and Robin also frowned. It's not that big of a response. Nami Usopp can still understand. Robin was not too moved at this time. She had never seen such a big scene before. This is a strong psychological quality. It's really unusual. The ability to adapt is so strong. Loki was stupid at this time. Are you all so strong? Can't such a horrific scene move you? Could it be that they often suffer from such torture, treatment? Hiss. It's really very capable. I almost forgot, this guy is their ship's doctor. How dare you find such a ship's doctor? Holy shit. What kind of magic does your captain have? Is your brain not working well? At this time, Loki paid tribute to Xiao Ran, the captain of the Straw Hats. She wanted to say, be brave. Bite. Congratulations to Su for getting 12,000 negative points. Bite. Congratulations to Su for getting 8,000 negative points. Bite. In just a short period of time, I earned more than 20,000 yuan. The smile on Will's face was very bright at this time, paired with the drops of blood on his face. It also succeeded in making everyone present unconsciously take a step back. The great success of Enelu has already provided me with tens of thousands of negative points. This is the first time he has received so much from one person. It seems that if you want to get more negative points, you have to break down the opponent's psychological defense line. Enel's aloof character is matched with Verna's special zero-sense countermeasures. This created this brilliant result. From now on, we must prescribe the right medicine, choose treatment and enemy methods based on the patient's personality. This can really greatly improve the efficiency of obtaining negative points. The few people nearby finally breathed a sigh of relief when they saw we're stopped. What they were thinking at this time was surprisingly the same. Then Davil should not do anything weird again. In general, while treatment is the most scary at the beginning, now that the chainsaw disembowelment is over, it should be just a casual look, right? Probably, at this time, the patient Enel has exploded. This guy just used a chainsaw to disembowel his body, but he didn't even use anesthesia. Can you understand this feeling? Seeing myself being tortured, I still can't move. That's okay, I said you should take some anesthesia. That stuff isn't expensive either. If you really can't do it, why don't I pay for it at my own expense? I bring it from home. After this meal, it almost hurt me to death. At this time, the oozing sound of the chainsaw finally stopped. Is it over? Just when he thought that needed to have his chest repaired, pick up the bone, when suturing the wound, but Will moved again, he looked at the rib inserted into his lung and directly tried to pull it out. I tried it but failed. Enelu recovered very quickly, and his ribs were completely covered with flesh and blood, just this one moment, but Enelu was in so much pain that he wanted to find a place and hit him to death. In his conscious state, he kept yelling, wanting to vent the pain. It hurts me to death. I am a god. Stop. Just when he finally got over it, after a while, as soon as he switched his consciousness to the world, he saw a big foot stepping on his face, and one hand grabbed the rib again, looking at who was adjusting his posture and preparing to exert force. Enelu was really going to explode now. This time it really hurts. Soon, after a puff, he finally pulled it out. Enelu really loves Will to death now. He swore that when he recovered, he would electrocute this guy to a crisp. At this time, Will immediately took out a big thing from his small suitcase. When they saw clearly, their faces were full of doubts. What is this? At this time, Encyclopedia Robin spoke. This is an electric welding machine used to repair and weld iron products. It uses high temperature to melt or soften the iron, and then uses the molten iron sprayed by the welding rod to join two incompatible pieces of iron. After listening to Robin's introduction, everyone understood what this thing was for. But I know what this thing is for, but I don't know what Will is going to do. Is this thing also used for treatment? Can't this be used for iron? Just when they were puzzled, suddenly. What did they think of? Verda, it seems like a kind of ability, that kind of ability to turn anything into steel. Just on the ship, Will had already used this ability to protect the melee. And steel, like. I can't help but be melted and spliced by this thing. Ah. No way. Such an explosive operation. Will really want to do this? So if this is really the case, how would you feel if you were victimized? This moment. They all felt a little panicked, because once this thing succeeds, they will be the ones who suffer the most. At this time, they can pray wildly with their eyes closed, fingers crossed that Veer's idea doesn't work. Chapter 69 It Shouldn't Hurt. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Enel was also a little confused. What does this guy want to do with this thing? I didn't realize he was a welder. But there is no iron here for him to weld, what does he want to do? Just as Enel was confused, his rib, which was held by Will, suddenly became iron-colored. It was as if it was turned into steel. Bad. Enel reacted instantly. This guy seems to be a devil fruit user. He can turn everything he touches into steel. You cow. Is there anyone to save me? I want to die now. But he was hit by a brick and became half paralyzed, so he could only shake his fingers twice at most. It was useless to resist. That's right, Will thought so. Turn broken bones or damaged wounds into iron, then he can repair them with his own advanced welding skills. He did welding before he became a veterinarian in his previous life. He is completely skilled in the field, to be honest. His ability to turn iron has many limitations. It is quite simple to turn dead things, but if the target is a human, it doesn't matter if the target is weaker, but if the target has armament hockey, then this ability will not work. Armament hockey can completely resist this ability, and if the target is weaker, even if you turn them into steel, it will make them stronger. This ability is still useful for those with monster-level physical defense. Your body is harder than diamond. I will help you turn into steel. But all masters have armament hockey, so Will never thought of using this ability to fight. If it can be used for treatment, combined with welding technology, the effect will definitely be very good. You can't use the armed color of someone who was knocked unconscious by his own brick, right? Isn't this just right? You don't have to do needlework in the future, everything can be welded. Thinking of this, Will no longer hesitated. He pressed his hand on the broken rib of Enel. In the expectant eyes of everyone, the broken bone actually turned into steel. Ah! It's over. It's over, Nami. You're dead from now on. Usopp screamed on the spot, and his tone was full of fear. Calm down. But at this time, Nami shouted and interrupted Usopp's next spell. This thing may not hurt at all, let's see. Nami herself didn't quite believe what she said. Hearing this, several people turned their eyes to the field again. Doesn't it hurt? Will sneered, are you kidding? It doesn't hurt, it's clearly written on the item evaluation. No one can resist its high temperature. You'll be happy if you get welded by this thing. At this time, Will took the black wire of the electric welder and found the starting point of the wire. There were 3 wires waiting to be connected quietly. Well, not bad, 3 boxes of electricity, although this thing can be used in any environment. Except when there is no electricity. If you want electricity, isn't there a Thor here? Will took the 3 wires with copper wires and wrapped them directly around Enel's arm. After wrapping this side, Will came to the electric welder and turned on the switch. Buzz buzz buzz. The electric welder started to make a sound. Very good, there is electricity and it can be used. Chopper. After the call came, Will also called Chopper over. He handed the ground wire in his hand to it. Watch it carefully, press this end wherever the iron becomes hot, otherwise it won't work, okay? Yeah. Chopper nodded seriously. After that, Will picked up the welding torch and took out a welding rod from the package of welding rods given by the system and installed it. He took out a pair of sunglasses from the box with his backhand. He put them on himself, then he took out a smaller one and helped Chopper put it on. There was no need to cover his face. He was still wearing a hood. Chopper also had thick fur. Otherwise, if he was exposed to the strong light, his face would peel off. Will did all this very skillfully, just like an old welder who had worked on the construction site for several years. This made Nami and others stunned. Will actually knows how to weld. This level of proficiency is not inferior to those professional welders. Great. Now in their eyes, Will has one more skill. If this continues, sooner or later, this guy will be the leader of a pirate group. Will he let people live? Even Robin looked at Will with some surprise. In the pirate world, welding is a very niche skill. It can be regarded as a niche profession. After all, the pirate ships here are almost all made of wood. Good pirate ships also have more outstanding craftsmanship and wood. At this time, Will seemed to her a little more mysterious, which made her curious about how much ability this person had not yet revealed. After all the preparations, Will finally took action. He was quick, accurate and ruthless. The welding rod directly hit the joint of the broken ribs. A dazzling light suddenly flashed. The light made the people who had been staring at this place squint, but only Robin chose to look away, and he didn't remind others. the strong light kept lighting up, and Enel's wound began to soften, then melt, and then stick together on its own. Thick smoke billowed out from the repaired area. The smoke made Chopper even cough, looking from a distance. People who didn't know better thought they were having a barbecue here. Soon, the broken rib was reconnected. Will also took off his glasses and looked at the interface. After reading it, he nodded with satisfaction. The interface is smooth and smooth. If you don't look carefully, you can't really see any signs of welding. It's been a long time since I played, and we didn't expect that his foundation was so solid. It's actually so well welded, and at this moment, the duration of the ironization is also up. The ribs slowly returned to their original pure white appearance. Chopper looked at the scene in front of him and stared. Brother. Really connected. And there's no problem at all. As he said this, Chopper beat it on it. Hey. And it's still very strong. It's like it's never been broken. It's amazing. Enelu, arigato. The Enelu just now once again provided we're with tens of thousands of negative points. The feeling of being welded is really painful to the bone. It is so exciting. Then burn him. It's almost burning to death. He really didn't expect that burning this thing would be so painful. It may also be because the burn location is inside. In short, I want to kill him. Enel has already greeted the 18 generations of Weir's ancestors in the room. And his noble and godly arrogance has long been forgotten by him. He now wants this bad situation to end as soon as possible. It's too dangerous here. He doesn't want to stay here anymore. But this wailing had no effect at all. Soon Will took action again. Strong lights also began to come on continuously. The negative points don't stop at all. Enelu is also Zabaxaba Agangsaba. The whole process lasts about 20 minutes. The continuously rising thick smoke finally stopped. Bite. Congratulations to the host for gaining the ability, Control Thunder. Control Thunder, you can control thunder and lightning. TSK. Come on. His operation is worth it. What a waste of such strength. All because of it. Hey, Nami. It was too bright just now so I couldn't see clearly. Will it hurt? Usopp asked Nami looking at him. Well, if the unconscious person's hands and feet are twitching and reacting normally, then it shouldn't hurt. Nami said with a trembling tone. Chapter 70, Fall. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Joe. Well done. You're so skilled in the first time, you're very smart. That will praise Joe, who was looking at Enel's chest with a surprised face. After that, he began to pack up the tools. Joe was amazed at this miraculous treatment. Hearing what Will said, he was stunned at first, then. Asshole, even if you praise me like this, I won't be happy. Joe replied with a bright face while twisting her body. This. Is it all right now? Lockie made some uncertain sounds at this time. Everything just now was too terrifying. Her brain lost the ability to think for a short time. After everything calmed down at this time, she finally reacted. She was not only surprised by Will's quick, efficient and cruel treatment, she was even more surprised that Enel, who was regarded as a taboo by the entire Sky Island and never dared to call his name, was solved just like this. He is Thunder. The incarnation of Thunder. But all the people on Sky Island cannot hurt him even a hair. But at this time, the invincible existence was solved in such a short time. It was truly solved. I am afraid that if Enel survived this time, he would not dare to get close to this place again. The physical shadow is still very powerful. If it were her, she would have died of pain after what Enel experienced. When she said this, everyone also reacted, yes. This seems to be solved too quickly and easily. Is this Will? A guy who is feared and extremely reliable. How strong is Will? Not only did he defeat Enel, who killed Zoro and Sanji in a very short time, and he tortured him both physically and spiritually. Is this the fate of Will's enemies? It's so terrifying. What's wrong? Are you a doctor too? No one can handle this injury better than you. In less than a day, this guy will be alive and kicking. Will took out a rotten apple from the medical box and looked at Lockie in confusion while eating. He thought Lockie was questioning his medical level. Are you kidding? We are really professional. Now that Enel has been dealt with, there is nothing on Sky Island that can threaten their existence. His goal has also been achieved, the lightning power has also been successfully obtained. Next, they need to wait here for a day or two, and they can leave when the pointer is fully charged. Their next stop is a naval fortress. Normally, the Mary will land right in the center of the fortress. Then everyone tried their best to find a way to escape. But there seemed to be nothing good there. There was nothing there that caught their eye, there was no strong man, and no rare power. Wouldn't it be a pure waste of time to go there? I'll try to modify the Mary later so that it can directly pass the naval fortress. This can save a lot of time. The long chain island behind the naval fortress is his goal. Foxy's slow power, it's also a very buggy power, it must be obtained as well. Will had a hunch that the system would make this power even more buggy. Maybe it could even stop time. Stop time. TSK TSK TSK. Even if it's not a time stop. It's definitely not much different. Anyway, it must be a force related to time. That's time. Anything related to time will definitely exceed the standard. Once you get it, you will definitely take off. After the modification of the Mary, there will be nothing to do. Let's develop the thunder while waiting for the magnetic force. When Loki heard what was said, she became nervous instantly. She waved her hand and replied, "No. No. Your medical skills are of course the best in the world, but you are surprised by the speed of treatment." Loki was really afraid that Will would think that she was provoking him, and then beat herself up and healed herself, then she might as well hit her head and die. Cough, cough cough cough. A cough came from behind everyone. Following the sound, Gonfor slowly sat up. He was the first one to be electrocuted. But because his Pegasus helped him bear a lot of damage, he woke up before Zoro and the others. As the previous god of Sky Island, he still had strong willpower. As soon as he regained consciousness, he tried to stand up with his shaking body, and turned his head to look for Enel. After a glance, he finally found Enel at Will's feet, but at this time, he seemed to be dead. This scared Gonfor. Enel died? How could it be? At this moment, Enel's chest rose and fell a lot. It means that he is still alive, but not far from death. This is severely injured and unconscious. Gonfor also saw it. Enel seemed to be defeated by someone. How long was he unconscious? Who defeated him? At this moment, Gonfor's heart was extremely eager to know the answer. Enelus was too strong. He really didn't know who would be his opponent here. He looked at the people standing at this time and asked with a trembling voice. "Did you defeat that guy?" As soon as he finished speaking, the surroundings suddenly became agitated. The sound of swooshing continued to sound, and figures began to arrive here one after another. Most of them were Shandya people who came with Weber, the others were the divine soldiers sent by Enelus. These divine soldiers recognized Gonforus as soon as they saw him. They used to follow Gonforus. It was Enelus who forced them, and they were forced to work for him. Enelus's troops, those cadres, those were the people he brought from his hometown, and those people were dead or injured at this time. "My lord. You are back. It's really you. Are you here to reclaim the throne?" That when these divine soldiers saw Gonfor, they were all very excited. It was as if they had seen their real father. On the other side, the Shandians, seeing the unconscious Weber carried by Kamakili, also came over with a nervous look. "What's going on? What happened to Weber? He seems to be seriously injured. Who did it? Of course it's Enel. Where is he? Let's kill him together. Dare to beat Weber like this. We must avenge." The Shandians were also quite excited. It was them who were angry, but this scared Loki and Kamakili to death. "Brother. Please don't do it. You are not avenging. You are sending your 9 clans to their deaths. With the strength of will, they don't need to rush forward for more than a few seconds. In a few seconds, they won't have anyone left to breathe. This is revenge. Want to say goodbye to the two of us?" "No. No. He wasn't beaten. He just fell down unexpectedly." "That's right. You were there just now. He just fell down unexpectedly." The two hurriedly sang in unison, "and first fooled these time bombs, otherwise, they would all explode." At this time, a group of Shandya people looked at Weber, who rolled his eyes and had a deep shoe print on his face, and fell into deep thought. Fell? Where did he fall like this? His head seems to be cracked, this fall is too severe.